It's such a danger, isn't it? Because there is so much emphasis now on managing risk internally. And then we have our sort of, I don't know, it still feels like a token approach to third parties and, dare I say, other abstractions from that. You've had such an immersive and deep soak cycle experience in building a third-party risk management system. Tell me about it. What are the big takeaways that you've picked up over your time?
First and foremost, having done this successfully, I believe, in my last organization, I think the biggest challenge is the levels of maturity across various organizations, and the starting point is never a day zero. It's never, start from scratch and you've not done this before and you've got all the time and energy and opportunities to do this. It's always, you come into an organization that's got the challenges, got the issues. It's about how you can sort of walk in there, understand what those challenges are, and then help the organization break down those issues into tangible, actionable things that you can do to sort of change the way the organizations approach third-party risk management, and then really go about setting milestones and targets and work through that over a course of time. And it's not something that it can be done overnight. And in fact, it's not something that can be done within a year. It takes a number of years to sort of build on from a maturity perspective.
This is really interesting, Deepak, because you've come up, I guess you've triggered 3 to 4 immediate questions in my mind. But one of my biggest observations here is it's about an iterative process, and it's also about I guess the compounding effect that you build over time. But you've got multiple stakeholders. If you think about it, it's probably 3 or 4 of them. Number one is the business owners. You've also got stakeholders in the third party. They want to provide these services. How on earth do you balance all of these? Because who says that's the most important thing for a business?
Great question. And I think what I've learned in my experience is you can't say from your own area of expertise that you think supplier X is most important. You've got to take in the information from the various areas, arrive at a holistic outcome to say this supplier truly is the most important, or this supplier is one of the most important suppliers for the organization. So you've got to take in the financial aspects, right? So you might be paying a supplier millions because the contract value is such. Therefore, from a financial perspective, yes, that's a significant supplier. And the business capability to enable you to deliver services to your customers or your products that you're selling. So you've got to add that lens. And then you've got to add this security lens. The information they've got access to, the type of access they've got, where they're accessing the information from. Is it onshore? Is it offshore? All of these other aspects come into play, and then you package that all up from what I call various attributes to arrive at a conclusion to say, yes, these are the suppliers that are the most important for the organization, and then go from there. And importantly, you touched on a point around this, the suppliers and the service that they getting paid for, right? The other thing that's really, really important is to get the suppliers to understand the importance of their service to you.
There's an ethic that I hold very close to my heart, which is vendors need to step forward with best intent as well. This is serious stuff. And I've written on my pad here, is moving into an era of partnership now. We need to sort of start refocusing on our ethics, that provision of supply, and be a partnership. But that is a two-way street, isn't it? Interestingly, I know a mutual friend of ours, Andrew Morgan, he is very much around that kind of as well, of transforming things into partnerships, because it allows you to remove that opacity and turn something into more transparency. Another observation I have as well, a mate of mine, John Taylor, I think from memory, he said this in April to me, a breach that we all saw, and we were just discussing it privately. He said, you can't outsource accountability. My goodness, those things that hit you in a moment. That was one of them. Made me then also think vendors need to start taking accountability themselves. Do you think that suppliers need to sort of clean up their act a little bit as well, and remove that opacity and go beyond the intent of the DPA?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think I've sort of witnessed, to your point, true partnerships when there's that collaboration on both sides, right? So, the vendor's delivering this amazing service that's critical or key to an organization achieving their objectives. But when they partner, when they work together to sort of manage that service, improve that service over time, it's not just a line item. It's not just a piece of software, piece of equipment, or arms and legs that are being delivered. It's actually a true understanding of what's being delivered on the vendor side. Just adding to that partnership side of things, like I've seen that done really, really well in my prior organizations.